everyone, thank you for joining me again on another video regarding narcissistic abuse topics. Today is Wednesday, February 10th. I decided I'm going to do regular videos on this channel, so if you would go ahead and subscribe, I would appreciate it, and hit that notification bell so you can receive regular updates. I did my part 1 and 2 of tactics and story of the narcissistic mother-in-law, and you guys seem to like it, so I decided that I'm going to share a lot of my own experiences and videos and information about narcissistic abuse and things that regard narcissistic abuse. So go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button and leave your comments below on this video. We like to hear your stories, each and every person. We need to hear from each other. It's super important for us in order to heal. So I decided to do a formal video on 12 things that narcissistic mother-in-law specifically, 12 things that they'll usually do. So this is going to be a more formal video than the last 2 that I posted. And just a disclaimer, not all narcissistic mother-in-laws do exactly as what I'm going to explain, but it's from my own experience and from hearing the experience of others that these are something that they usually do. Narcissistic mother-in-laws and narcissists in general but I'm going to go ahead and describe those. Just, how the narcissistic mother-in-law would be implementing these tactics. So let's go ahead and get into it. 12 things that the narcissistic mother-in-law will usually do to you. Number 1, and I talked a little bit about this in my previous 2 videos, is love bomb. Okay, and love bombing, as a lot of you may have heard, is a tactic that narcissists use to reel you into the relationship. Okay, they'll basically give you everything that you want on a platter. They'll try to interrogate you and see exactly what do you like, what are your interests, and they'll try to give that to you. The narcissistic mother-in-law specifically, they will, from my experience and from hearing the experience of others, they like to gift give. Okay, they'll give you things, and they'll give you compliments, a lot of compliments. Specifically, if she's talking to a female, like the daughter-in-law, she'll be like, "Oh, you did your hair, you look cute," They'll give you a lot of compliments. They'll try to love bomb you with a bunch of compliments, try to feel like they're boosting your self-esteem in a way, right? And they'll also give you gifts. And a lot of the time, the gifts, there'll be red flags in themselves, because the gifts, like I said, narcissists don't have empathy. So the gifts they give you, they could care less. A lot of the time, they're rewrapped gifts that other people that had given them. The box that I got some of the gifts from this narcissistic mother-in-law in were like, they were, tainted and crummy and messed up. They don't have enough empathy to, even if they are giving you gifts during the love bombing process, to really reel you in the beginning of the relationship. Sometimes they don't even care, but they'll do it to try to make you impressed by them and to try to pull you in. And other times the gifts will be, very nice gifts. So it can depend, but usually they'll love bomb you, and they'll try to mirror off of you too and investigate what you like. And they'll interrogate you and try to figure out what you like. Like if you like traveling, they'll talk all about that. They'll talk about the things that you like. They'll reel you in with this love bombing and make it seem like they're the best mother-in-law in the world and they're the greatest person to hang out with, and they'll buy you the dresses and they'll give you all the compliments. They will love bomb you to make it seem like they are the best mother-in-law ever, and you want to be in the relationship with them, so that you have no other denials about who they truly are. That's why the narcissistic mother-in-law does that, because she wants to reel you in, to start abusing you, and to start her cycle, that narcissistic abuse cycle. So number 1, they do the love bombing. Like I said, they do the compliments, they'll do the gift giving, they'll do all the self-esteem booming in the beginning and the mirroring and figuring out what you love to really get you sucked in. Okay? So number 2, and this was hard for me to really actually figure out and accept, but the narcissistic mother-in-law, she will spy on your conversations, and she will especially spy on your conversations with your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever your partner is that you're seeing, that is their son or daughter. They love to spy on those conversations, because this is another topic that I'll had added on this list. They are going to, and the majority of the times, that narcissistic mother-in-law wants to sabotage your relationship. Okay, so any type of conversations that you're having with her son or her daughter, she wants to get that info, because the narcissist, again, that narcissistic mother-in-law, she feeds off of drama, she feeds off of gossip, and she will spy. And she will especially spy. In my specific case, she took her son's phone and she would go through, our text messages, our Instagram DMs. She does not care. She will go through the whole entire conversation, because, again, a narcissistic mother sees her son or daughter as an extension of themselves. So anything that narcissistic son or daughter owns, specifically that phone, she will take and she will go through it like it's her own phone, and she won't feel bad about that. She wants to spy on your conversation and see what you guys are talking about. And a lot of the time, if she sees that her son and daughter are, madly in love with you, and you guys are talking about going on this and going on that, she will try to sabotage that, because the narcissist, especially that narcissistic female, she will get jealous. She gets jealous, and, she needs the control over her children. So if she starts to feel like you're taking control of her child and you're reeling them away from her, she's going to put into a plan where she, is going to start sabotaging that relationship. She wants to make sure, the reason why, she spies on those conversations is she wants to make sure that you're obeying her, that she's still going to be in control, that she is able to, abuse you and derage you, and that you guys are not going to go off and run away, which is what you're supposed to do in a healthy, marriage, of course, because she is going to sabotage that. And also with spying, she will actually get her son and daughter to spill the beans, per se, right? She will sit down with her son and daughter and she'll be like, hey, what did you guys talk about on your date today? She will be very covert with it, and she will be very sneaky with it, in that she will try to get out of her son and daughter to talk about everything that you guys talked about on the date, wherever you guys went. If you guys went to the grocery store, she wants to know. So she is going to constantly spy, and much of the time, especially that son of hers, he is going to say, he's going to feel pressured by his mother to talk about you, and what is it exactly about you that he likes, and what is it about you that you said. So number 2 is that they spy. Okay, number three, they will try to isolate you from your friends and family. And this is something I'm sure we've all experienced with that narcissistic mother-in-law, or the narcissist in general, is they try to act like, again, they're the best they're the best mother-in-law and ever in front of all of your friends and all of your family, so that they can reel you in and isolate them from you, because they want your family to feel comfortable that you are with this, nice queen type of, woman that will do anything for you. So she'll constantly try to invite you over to her house. She'll try to get you to go out with her, so you're not around your friends and family that may feel like, this narcissistic mother-in-law has red flags. She wants to reel you away from them, to, isolate you, to continue to abuse you, and to brainwash you and put things in your head to further distance you actually from your friends and family, because, again, she wants to be in control. She wants to control everything and everybody, especially about your relationship with their child. So she wants that control, and she needs to get everybody away from you that may have an influence on you, to so that she won't be able to control. Okay, number 4, she is going to covertly and overtly sabotage your self-esteem in ways that she will use your strengths and weaknesses against you. And she will use hypercriticism, and I'll make another video about this fully. She will use hypercriticisms. She will criticize anything about you. The way that you're holding your baby, the way that I remember my narcissistic mother-in-law, there was a time that she criticized me because I didn't put nearly much of rice on my plate to, to give to my mother, because I know how much my mom eats. We were actually over at dinner at their house, and she wanted me to put like 5 spoonfuls of rice onto the plate, and she, in front of everybody, she criticized me, and she's like, "Oh no, you don't do it that way," and she threw all the rice that I had put on the plate in the trash, and she did it herself, because that narcissistic mother-in-law wants to criticize you, especially in front of people if you're the scapegoat. She wants to criticize you and make it seem that you don't know how to do anything. I have to do everything for you. Again, that's a part of their power. That's a part of their control. She is going to criticize every single little thing that you do. And it could be overtly, like I said, in front of other people with, her actual mannerisms and words. And it could be covertly. I had her criticize one time. She'll put like smirk comments in there and just be like, "Oh, I don't think you really know how to do anything if it wasn't for me." And sometimes it just really passes over your brain and you're not really even paying attention to it. But when you come back out, especially when you come out of the relationship and you revisit those moments, you revisit all those covert, criticisms that she gave you that made you feel that you need to be dependent on her, that made you feel that you are not worthy and you can't do anything right. And she'll do that especially because she wants to scapegoat you. Which is another thing that they do. They'll either make you the golden child or the scapegoat, just like she does with her own son or daughters. So that's another thing to be aware of. Number 5, she is going to financially abuse you in any ways that she can, because she does this with her own kids. And if you're coming into the family and, you're going to be a part of the family, you're going to be her daughter-in-law or her son-in-law now. So she wants to be able to financially abuse you too. And it's, I've heard that there has not been, a story where people have heard that narcissists do not financially abuse their victims. They almost always financially abuse their victims. So they're going to financially abuse you. Specifically, mine tried to covertly tell me not to use my credit card because she put these little things in my brain that I was going to sabotage my credit if I which is exactly the opposite. If you don't use your credit card, that's the way that you're going to sabotage your credit. So you have to watch out for that. You cannot tell them how much you make or the job you have. And I know a lot of the times that's hard, especially if you're already in the relationship and she knows a lot about you. But she is going to financially abuse you. She is going to try to get some type of money or some type of financial gain out of you. And if she knows that you're college educated, if she knows that you got a good job, you better watch out because she's coming for you. She wants to financially abuse you. Number 6, and I spoke a little bit about this when I said scapegoat, but she is going to make you feel like you can do nothing right? Those hypercriticisms, that scapegoating. And she is going to especially scapegoat you. And when I say scapegoat, that is exactly what they do, is they scapegoat you and make you feel like you could do nothing right. She's going to create that scenario of you being that child that can do nothing right, or that daughter and son-in-law that can do nothing right, because you went against her. So she has to do that in order to control you. She has to degrade your self-esteem and make you feel like, "Oh, you can't do it without me. You don't know what you're doing." They'll put them snide comments in there and make you feel like you have no self-worth and your self-esteem is, they want to break that in order to abuse you and to further their control over you. That is the scapegoating process that they will implement and make you feel like you cannot do anything. Number 7, they will show you off to their friends or family. They want to do this just because they feel like, especially in the beginning of the relationship during the love bombing process, they feel like, especially, you being an empath, you have all the qualities that they want. So you have all these great qualities that they want to show off to their friends and family, and they want to, and showing off is one of the major things that the narcissistic mother-in-law does. She loves to show off. She loves to sit in her little circle of friends and be like, "Ha ha, look what I got." So, you're going to be that prime supply, that prime son-in-law or that prime daughter-in-law that they want to show off. And, she'll ask you to come out with the family members or the friends so they can show off and talk about you and because they want to be the center of attention. But they also, they want to show you off, but it's because they want to be the center of attention and they want that attention from their friends and or family. So that's another thing they do. Okay, so the next one is, after they went out and showed you to the friends or family. And during the love bombing process, during the discard process, what they're most likely going to do is they're going to smear you to those same friends and family. They want to smear you. They want the friends and family to think that you're nothing, that you're a piece of crap. They brought you in, and now that they have to smear you and destroy you because you're in the discard right now, especially if you were onto them, right? Especially if you were onto that narcissistic mother-in-law, that you know her abuse and you confronted her. Especially if you confront her, she's going to try to put some type of smear across your name to destroy you to those friends and family members, which is what mine did and which a lot of them do, in order to destroy your reputation, to get you out of that family, because she doesn't want you in that situation. She doesn't want you in that family anymore. She's discarding you, and she's going to smear you. And those friends and family members, they're going to look at you like you're crazy, because that's essentially what the narcissist wants. They want the friends and family to look at you and make you feel like you're crazy, and then you have to get out of the whole situation by yourself. And there will be some friends or family that side with you, but that's going to be very rare, and you're going to want to stay away from them regardless, because if the narcissist has ties to those friends and family members, they will try to sabotage you even more and hoover you in and abuse you more. So stay away from that. The next one, number 9, is give you the silent treatment, especially when you try to make a boundary with that narcissist. I remember my narcissistic mother-in-law, she gave me the silent treatment where I texted her and she never replied back. And it wasn't until I actually physically went to her house to see why she wasn't replying, I thought there was actually something wrong with her, that she was in this very rude and just this very attitude type mood. And later on, I figured out that she was giving me the silent treatment because I, quote unquote, set a boundary with her. And narcissists, as we know, they hate boundaries. That narcissistic mother-in-law does not want you to set any type of boundaries. She wants to have all the control over you. She wants to have all the control over your life. And she wants to cross every single boundary that you make. So if you try to make a boundary with her, she will give you the silent treatment. She will start the discard process, and she will start to get on to you. If you try to reach out to them and they don't want to reply, that's a good sign that you are in the silent treatment with a narcissist, and that silent treatment makes you feel like you did something wrong. That narcissist wants to make you feel like you did something wrong, and you didn't do anything wrong. They're just giving you the silent treatment. Okay, so number 10, what they do is they will project. That narcissistic mother-in-law, she is going to project all of her negative traits onto you, especially if you're in the discard process, and especially if you're being scapegoated at this moment, right? If that narcissistic mother-in-law is a lazy bum, she's going to tell you that you're the lazy bum. If she is, obviously that narcissist, especially if they're an overt, they're a loudmouth, they're arrogant, she is going to tell you that you're a loudmouth and that you are arrogant. Anything negative trait that narcissistic mother-in-law has, she is going to give that to you. And especially, when she wants to rage and get back at you, all those projections will come out. And she will either call you or she will confront you and be like, you're this, that. And at times, you even believe it. They make it feel and make it seem like, so easily to believe. But everything bad that they're saying about you, trust me, 100%. Those are projections. They are projecting all that negativity, because you'll even go back in your mind and you'll say, wait a minute, that doesn't sound like me. That sounds like you. And that's exactly what you have to believe, is that is not you. That is the narcissist projecting their negative traits onto you. So you're not arrogant. You're not lazy. You're not this. You're not that. That is the narcissist. Number 11, this is the second to the last, is, and I spoke a little bit about this before, but they'll constantly hyper-criticize you, right? Any little thing. And especially if you're an empath, and especially if you're a very kind, compassionate person, they can rarely find things to criticize about you. You could be the most perfect person. You could have your stuff to a T, and they will still find the most stupidest thing to criticize you. And that was in my experience. I tried to do everything as best as I can. And the thing is, don't even try to, because they will find anything to criticize on. You'll feel like, especially in the discard process, that the things that they criticize you on are so stupid and so dumb, but they make you feel like you're not worthy. They make you feel like they want to break you so bad. They'll keep sticking those stupid criticisms that have nothing. They are so dumb, the criticisms that they pick out of nowhere, because they can't even find anything on you. essentially that's what helped me leave, is that the criticisms that they were pushing onto me were so just unfallible that I couldn't stand it anymore. I'm like, you guys really don't even have anything to criticize on me at this point. So if you want to go ahead and criticize me for that, go ahead, but I'm out of here. So that's number 11, hypercriticism. And finally, number 12. Number 12 is something that is very dear and near to us when we're talking specifically about narcissistic mother-in-laws. And that is number 12, is she will sabotage the relationship. She most likely 100% is going to sabotage that relationship between, like I said, you or your spouse, or you or your partner, your boyfriend or girlfriend. Because if she sees that you are making your, partner a better person, and that she, that jealousy, that narcissistic jealousy, that pathological jealousy that she has, and she cannot control the relationship, and she cannot have power, and you're taking away her child, you're taking away her narcissistic supply. It's not because she loves her child. That's what they want to make you think. They want to make you think, oh, you're taking away my child from me, and they want to paint themselves as a victim. It's not. Because they never cared about their child. They never loved their child unconditionally. And when you want to come in as their partner and truly love them unconditionally and help them, that narcissistic mother-in-law is going to sabotage the relationship. And she's going to do this by smearing you. She's going to do this by putting so many things in the brain of your partner. She's going to try to brainwash the heck out of your partner and be like, and make your partner feel guilty for not wanting to have to spend time with her. That's a big thing that my narcissistic mother-in-law did, was she would constantly make my partner feel guilty for us not spending so much time with her. And you can't do that, because that's an enmeshed, unhealthy, toxic, family system. You're with your spouse. You want to be with your spouse. You're not going to spend it with that narcissistic mother-in-law 24/7. That is a toxic thing. But she wants that because she wants to control. That's the sole purpose of it. And if she doesn't have that control, she's going to make your partner feel guilty. She is going to berate them. She is going to rage at them. She is going to make your life difficult as hell. And she's going to put your relationship through hell, because it's the jealousy, it's the power conflict, it's the ego, it's the rage, it's the control that she doesn't have control over. And she needs that. And when she loses that, she will make you, she's insane, but she will make you guys go physically insane. And she will try as best as possible to break that apart. And in my case, it worked. Because in a lot of cases, especially if it's the son and mother dynamic, a lot of cases it works, because the son will always vouch over with the mother, and it works. They will usually sabotage the relationship. And let me tell you something, if that partner of yours is siding with that narcissist and wants to continue to enable their toxic ways, you need to get away from them anyway, because they're going to put you in that toxic environment and they're going to enable it. And essentially what they're doing is they're going to, they're abusing you as well, because they're letting the narcissist abuse you, and that in itself is abuse. So as much as you do for your partner, and as much as you love your partner and you want to be with them, if they're still siding with the narcissist, whether that's their parent or not, and they don't want to come out of that toxic family system, which I'm going to do a video on this further and talk about this a lot more, you need to get away from that, and you need to separate yourself from that toxicity. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for new videos that I'm going to put out, and leave your comments below if this video helped you. We would like to listen to your own stories, and I hope you have a blessed day.